How is it going, everybody? You're watching Then About Tech, and today we're finally unboxing the brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max in Cosmic Orange. As you can see, we've got a picture of the 17 Pro Max right here. That's its real size, so you can already see it's a pretty huge phone. And we got a little detail right here on the box. I don't know if you can tell, but it's raised up just a bit, so it looks pretty cool and premium. We got here iPhone, Apple logo, iPhone, Apple logo, all in orange as well. And on the back, just your typical information, iPhone 17 Pro Max. In this case, I got the 256 gigabytes. So that's the entry level, if you want to call it that. So let's go ahead and open it up. We've got both tabs here, one at the top, and if you really like way more rigid than before. So these protective tabs seem like higher quality, they're thicker and they're a little bit harder to pull, which is a good thing because a lot of people actually make those tabs afterwards. So it's a good way to try and avoid a little bit of counterfeit and things like that. Okay, now of course let's put it on the table and then let's lift, and we've got the drama, and it's a good drama this time. As you can see, it's pretty much stick here. And that's on purpose. Apple make those boxes really tight so it gets this effect. And here we go. I think this time they made it really tight actually. So we've got here the iPhone 17 Pro Max, and wow, the color is incredible. And I can already tell by my monitor right here that the color is spot on. The exact color I'm seeing here is the exact same color you are seeing on your display. So it looks really, thankfully, my lighting situation here looks perfectly. So this is good because they're gonna have a really good idea of how this phone actually looks in real life. That's exactly how it looks. Okay, we're gonna talk about that in a second. All right, we've got here on the box, we just got a cable and a SIM tool ejector. Of course, this will depend where you are in the world. Okay, so since I am in Brazil, this is a Brazilian version. I've got a SIM tool because there is a physical SIM tray. We're gonna talk about that in a second. Maybe depending on where you are, you don't get this at all if it is an eSIM only, all right? So, braided USB-C to USB-C cable. Let's open it up, of course. And as you can see right here, USB-C to USB-C. We can remove it, and then that's exactly what you're seeing. It's your typical USB to USB-C cable. Let's put it to the side. And then right here we get our documentation. So we can remove it like that. Just get rid of that. And then we've got here iPhone, 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 and then Apple logo, Apple logo. And this of course is warranty information. And right here we get just this sheet on top. And then here we've got security. Right here, this is solo for Mexico. I don't know why, because this is a Brazilian model, but anyways. And then right here, more safety stuff. So we actually don't get any kind of restrictions or pictures or things you can, nothing. It's just like regulatory paper. So that's interesting. And here we don't get anything else, as you can see. So this is just the box. Of course, on the other side, same story, just the cutout for the camera plateau. And then that's pretty much it. We've got here the new iPhone 16 Pro Max. Let's go ahead and remove this because that's what we do, right? We've got here just some indications. So this is the camera. Of course, this is for the camera control. Here you have the side button, which is your power button as well, of course. Here we've got the silent switch, but it's not a silent switch because this is the action button. So you can map this to whatever you want. And then of course, volume up and volume down. Let's go ahead and remove this. Always very extremely satisfying. And now let's take a look at this guy. Let's talk about its design a little bit. And of course, we have to start talking about the 17 Pro Max from its back. And I want to already bring this guy right here, which is an iPhone 16 Pro Max, because we're going to be comparing them at all times in this first impressions video. So you can already tell the difference from the main color. So this is Desert Titanium, the launch color of this generation. And this of course is Cosmic Orange, which is the main color of this generation right here. And it's way different. But of course, it's not just about the color. Everything looks different when you compare both phones. We got here two different materials, the camera plateau. Of course, the color itself, like it's glowing. It's really a shocker, and is a very different take on the design when we compare to the 16 Pro, 15 Pro, 14 Pro, and so on, which all look very similar. So let's start talking about the main difference, which is the aluminum unibody. As you probably already know, the iPhone 16 Pro and before, they always had this sandwich-like design. So it's glass at the front, glass at the back, and a titanium rail going all the way around. So everything here on the back is glass. This is glass, this is glass, it's all glass. Now on the iPhone 17 Pro and 17 Pro Max as well, we get an aluminum unibody. So it's very easy to spot the difference, especially on this angle right here. All of this darker portion is aluminum and this lighter portion is glass, but it's a different glass. We're gonna talk about that in a second. So if we take the iPhone and take a look at the front foot first, we can definitely tell that the aluminum starts here at the front, just a teeny portion of it, and then we got here aluminum as well, and then we got here aluminum as well, and then going all the way around this portion, this portion, this portion, this portion. Everything here is aluminum because, as I said, this is an aluminum unibody. Think of this like a MacBook or a MacBook Pro, which is all made of aluminum. It's the exact same thing, okay? So the camera plateau, this portion, everything, absolutely everything here is aluminum. And this part right here is actually glass, but it's not glass like this, fragile glass. If you take a look at this, you see that it's actually a little bit cracked here. This, on the other hand, is ceramic shield, which is the same kind of glass Apple uses on the front. Now they're using at the back as well. It's a different generation, but it's ceramic shield as well. So it's not only glass, it has particles of sapphire. So it's way more resistant to scratches and cracks as well. So this is a good implementation. And I don't know if you know this, but smartphone manufacturers have to use glass at the back. And of course, glass is way more fragile than metal. So why do they use glass? And they do that simply because of this, because of wireless charging. They need to do this because of wireless charging. It wouldn't work like on metal. So it has to have glass, as you can see right here. So that's the only reason why. So that's why we get this portion of glass, and we're still gonna keep getting until the industry creates a different way of doing this. And also, I know a lot of you guys are gonna say, this is a downgrade. We came from titanium, which is way more premium, to aluminum. And in a way it is, because it is a cheaper metal, cheaper material, but at the same time, Apple decided to go with aluminum and create this unibody and create a vapor chamber inside. So the iPhone actually has a little chamber inside with water, which is incredible, simply because of thermal issues. The iPhone 16 Pro and the iPhone 15 Pro had problems with overheating. We all know this, and this was mainly because of the thermal characteristics of titanium. So titanium doesn't really cope well with heat, and aluminum does. And aluminum is actually lighter than titanium, which is good as well. So that's why they decided to go with this. So then we have here an overall look at the back. This is pretty much love or hate situation. I know this, especially on this color. I really like it. Let's see how I'm gonna feel in a few months. On top of that, we have the new camera plateau. And this is also a big difference, a big characteristic of this phone. And a lot of people think Apple decided to go with this because of the camera, because of the new camera layout, to make the camera larger or with more features and so on, but that's not really why. Apple created this camera plateau. As you can see, it's raised up from side to side, so it's a huge block here at the top to actually fit components that were before right here at the top. So they got components that would be in this area of the phone, and they actually placed here at the top to leave more room for a larger battery. And the iPhone 17 Pro has a huge battery, over 5,000 milliamp hours. Apple never actually had 5,000 milliamp hours on an iPhone, which is incredible. So this is not for the camera. This is actually to have more room for components here on the phone, okay? The camera themselves are actually very similar. Of course, they are better, they are an evolution, but not really a revolution. So we've got here a triple camera layout, wide, ultra wide, telephoto. The telephoto has more zoom, the other cameras have better quality. We all know that, but it's not really huge. And of course, I'm gonna talk about the new cameras on another video, as well as the new battery on another video. This is just a first hands-on, okay? We have here the flash, LiDAR, 3D sensor, and of course, the microphone. Moving on, let's take a look at the rest of the phone. And one thing that's very, very cool is this camera plateau right here is not just to fit components, as I mentioned, but it's actually a huge antenna. So take a look. We got here the antenna on the side. It moves and then it stops at the camera plateau and then it goes around. I don't know if you can tell because of the reflections and all, but we've got here the same lines from the antennas going all the way around the camera plateau. So take a look at this. So this serves as a huge antenna. So connectivity should be way better on this phone. So antenna lines here, and of course bottom and bottom. Since we are on this side, let's take a look at the buttons. So we got here the action button, so you can map this to whatever you want, like your simple mute switch. Maybe you press to open the camera, maybe for the flashlight, or to open any other application. It's up to you. You can map this however you like. Volume up or volume down. And of course, this SIM tray. As I mentioned, this is a Brazilian model iPhone, so this has room for a physical SIM on top of being eSIM as well. So you can choose however you like. When we compare to my iPhone 16 Pro right here, I don't have it. So as you can see, action button, volume up and down, but I don't have the SIM because this is an eSIM only iPhone. Of course, it's not the case on this guy. On the other side, of course, we have the side button, so your power button and your camera control. So same story here with this phone, exactly the same thing, exact same layout, camera control, side button, it's the exact same thing. Here at the top, we don't have anything. And here at the bottom, it's the exact same thing as well. Let me get a better grip here. So it's the exact same thing. So USB-C, microphone, speaker. I don't know if you know this, but this is not dual speaker. This is speaker, microphone, and USB-C, unlike the iPhone Air, which both grills are for microphones. There are no speakers at the bottom of the iPhone Air. And if we actually take a look more generally on these phones, you can see that side to side, it's really, really hard to tell, especially because of the reflections, but the iPhone 17 Pro Max is actually thicker, a little bit thicker. At the back, pretty much same size. At the front, same size as well. So you won't be able to tell really, the size is pretty much the same, but you can tell that it is thicker and it is heavier. Even though we are using aluminum here, the iPhone 17 Pro feels heavier. You can definitely tell it feels heavier and it feels thicker, it feels more substantial. It feels more of a pro phone. Some people may like it, some people may not like it, and that's why Apple created the Air. So if you don't like this thick, robust phone, you can get the iPhone Air. Now, let's just boot up. Let's just turn on the iPhone 17 Pro so we can, of course, finish the video just talking about the display. There's something interesting there. And as you can see, we've got here the hello screen. Of course, it's gonna be a little bit dimmer if you compare to the 16 Pro because this very first setup screen, it's always like that, dimmer, and you can't really control. But something that I wanna show you that it's pretty cool is actually the bezels. So if you take a look at the bezels on the iPhone 16 Pro and 17 Pro, you can definitely tell that they are thinner on the 17 Pro. So they're a little bit thinner, not a huge deal, but they are thinner. If I swap up where I have here a wide screen, maybe it'll be easier to see. Again, it's just a teeny tiny thing, but it is thinner. Same goes with the dynamic island. You can tell that the dynamic island right here at the top is also a little bit thinner if you compare it to the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Again, not a huge deal, it just feels a little bit thinner as you can tell. And right there, we've got housed inside this pill, the new selfie camera. Of course, I'm gonna show you in action the new selfie camera when I have my camera video. It's gonna be a dedicated separate video just for that. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much my unboxing and first impressions, pretty long first impressions of the amazing iPhone 17 Pro Max. Of course, a ton more videos coming very, very soon, so make sure to subscribe right here, where I am, right here, to Then About Tech. I'm gonna be posting a ton on the iPhone 17 coverage. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you on the next one as usual, guys. Bye-bye.